done. Alright guys, my last parts order of the year has come in. Hopefully my last parts order. I'm pretty well gonna say that we're done spending money here on some of these tractors, but like I say, I want to keep getting this stuff finished, get ready for spring. I have some service and some maintenance to do. So some of these parts are maintenance items. We did get our oil pressure gauge came the other day for the Farmall 560, so that is in. And it's a dark, cloudy day, and it's raining. So it's mud outside, but we got our muffler for the 685. You've seen my video the other day on the mufflers, and let's just do an inspection here and see. Now this one came from Allstate's Ag Parts, so it's a little bit different style here, the way it looks. And this has a glossy finish to it compared to the old ones. But just looking at it, I'm fussy. I know some guys just put it on no matter what it looks like, but it looks pretty good. Huh. Yeah, and if you see my video about the muffler, I was working on the 395 back a couple videos ago. You know, the Stanley muffler that I had gotten from another company, they didn't even paint the whole thing. There were spots on it that weren't painted, and it was dinged up, but this will work. This is not bad. It has this glossy, almost like a urethane type coating on it. I don't know if it'll burn off, but all right, I'm happy with it. Let's get into some other things here. All right, so you guys will know from my intro that I finally got this piece of the hood that I know has been driving some people nuts. I probably had 10, 12 questions on where's the piece of the hood. This wasn't easy to come by, this piece here. This took a while, a lot of eBay searches, a lot of calling around to different parts companies, because this piece of the hood is often lost. It's like having a set of Oliver Fleetline series engine side covers missing and trying to find them. They just get taken off and they get stuck somewhere, and they just never follow the tractor when it leaves. It just seems to be a common thing. The parts man told me that these are hard to come by because this is the access to the battery. So anytime somebody needed to jump the battery or something, they just took it off and set it aside and they got lost. So you can see how it's on here. They have these quick, I don't know what you want to call them, these special fasteners on here that you can get it open. You don't need a wrench. And then when you need to service your batteries, it's on a hinge and it folds up so you can get to access your batteries. So the full story on this piece, now yes, it's got to get sanded down and it's got to get primered and painted here, but this is real nice sheet metal. This is not pitted. As a matter of fact, it's better than this. You can see if I do a real close-up here, I should have sandblasted this hood, but I wasn't worried about it. I'm still not worried about it, but we're going to try to get this cleaned up and matching once it warms up. But let me tell you the story on this thing and how I came by this piece. All right, so if you guys were following along, you knew in a past video that I said I ordered this piece from Allstate's Ag Parts, and it was 75 bucks, and they were going to ship it to me. That didn't happen. The parts person from Allstate's had called me and said they actually don't have one in stock. They thought they did when I called the first time and ordered it, and they didn't have it in stock. So he said they went through their entire system of all their locations and couldn't find this piece. Nobody had one. So he said that he can get one from another place, but it's going to be like $190. So I wasn't going to spend $190 plus the shipping to get it out here. So yeah, it would have been well over $200 for that piece of the hood. So I was out looking at equipment the other day, and I figured it was a shot in the dark. I figured let's go check out Wangers and Myerstown while I was down there. I didn't have any faith that they had this piece just because it wasn't on their website. They have a website, and they didn't have this piece listed anywhere that I could see. I was checking eBay, and guys are asking $200, $250, a set of them that some guy was selling for $300. I couldn't just get the left piece of the hood on eBay. So I went to Wangers and Myerstown, and the parts person looked up the original part number, asked which side I needed, went on his computer, and he said, it shows I have one. So I was pretty happy. So I said to him, I said, what does that piece cost, just for reference, because these parts are expensive usually. He said it's on for $100. So I said, well, that's not terrible. That's what the piece from Allstate's would have cost with the shipping if they had one. He said, let me go back and check to make sure it's there, he said, and we'll have to look at the condition. Maybe it won't be $100 depending on the condition. So he goes back, he comes out, and he explained to me that not all the parts they have in stock are on their website. He said their website's slow to be updated, and a lot of the parts that they do have, they have more in stock than you're going to see online. So he said it's best to call. So anyway, he came out with this. He said it was my lucky day. They just dismantled this tractor that this was on not too long ago. It was just dismantled, and the parts were just put on the shelf, and he said it's pretty good. So let me get down here. I'm happy with it. I mean, there are no dents or dings. The sheet metal isn't bent. It's not pitted. It does have 2 layers of paint on the way it looks. I want to sand some of that off. And it had the original hardware on to tighten it down. So this wasn't easy to find. And I'm glad that I stopped at Wangers and Myerstown and I did get this piece of the hood. So for all you guys that have been staring at this opening in there, I wanted it anyway because I don't want any dirt or anything to get sucked in, and it's complete then. So we got it. So it's here. After all that, it's been a whole year, so it's here. Let's see what else came today, and I'll explain what we have going on. And the spring rains have arrived, I'm pretty sure. It's raining now. We still have snow on the ground. And we still have snow in the forecast, so we're not out of this yet, but if you can believe it this late in the year. But we've had 11.5 inches of precipitation since January 1st, so we're getting some moisture in the ground. So I'm not going to complain. Let it rain. All right, before I get too ahead of myself with these parts looking, see what came, we got this muffler on the 685, and I have to tell you, I'm pretty happy with it. I think that'll work. So it was the second attempt to try to get a muffler, and the shipping on and quality on this is pretty good. Fits all right, works, it's functional. So we got that on. Now all my mufflers are pretty good now. We don't have anything leaking. All the exhaust pipes are good, so hopefully they'll last me a while, that I don't have to deal with this again. But we got it on. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, so mostly what was in this order is stuff to basically keep servicing the tractors. Finished changing all the filters. I didn't do it one by one each tractor and go through. I've been kind of doing things sporadically here, but we got an air filter for the 685. The air filter, I checked it the other day and it was pretty bad. So this is a Baldwin air filter. So let's set that aside. That's pretty easy to put in. That's not a big deal. I got a new engine oil filter for the Farmall 560 because I had that old one on and off so many times. And I didn't change. I changed it last year, but it wasn't changed this year. And with all that on and off with that spin-on filter, I wanted to get the proper canister filter for that can, so we'll have to do that. I told you guys about the upper and lower radiator hoses on the tractor that needed to be replaced on the 560, that the oil from the engine that was leaking has them pretty brittle and dry rotted, so we got a set of upper and lower radiator hoses and gauges. I told you guys I was going to do the gauges. I'm pretty well going to do what I say I'm going to do, hopefully. So we got the charging gauge. You can see it has the IH on it for the ammeter. It's I don't think you need the style that has the numbers on to tell you how much it's charging. Basically, as long as it's charging is all that matters. So we have to do that. This is the mesh hydraulic filter for the 685 under the deck plate. I'll show you guys how the hydraulic filter gets changed. I did do that on the 395. I just didn't videotape it or video record it. What's this? This should be the temperature gauge in this box for the 560. This should be, that's what it says on the box. And it should have a 72-inch long it's all wrapped up here. Make sure it's the right one. Yes, that'll work. And you also get a bracket, and you also get the bushing. Now, I think I can reuse the bushing in there, but we have one. We'll see if we can change it. Maybe we'll change it. Might as well. So we got the temperature gauge. And this here should be the sending unit and fuel gauge set. It should be a set, so you don't. It saves you time with diagnosing. Now this number here, you'll have to double check on their website. But this here will basically do like the 1066, 766. It's a wide range of models that this kit will cover. If you have a bad fuel gauge, a bad sending unit, they do make a kit for international tractors, and it did say it will work with the Farmall 560. So I don't know. I'm not too familiar with it, but there's your fuel gauge. And it doesn't have the IH on it, and it doesn't really have to. I'm not getting overly fussy. You can't get one with the kit. It is what it is, so that's what this is what I ordered, so that's what we're putting on. And here is the sending unit, and it looks like the box wasn't in the best of shape, so I should double check this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes where it mounts on the tank, and we have 1 wire. So let's go over to our 560. What did I say? 5 holes. Let's just make sure, because we get the wrong thing, then well, you can't see it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's in there in the dark. I have to take this center section of the hood off, but it looks right. Looks like it's the same diameter. So that should be all the gauges that I said I had to replace. We did the glow plug meter. We've got a new oil pressure. We've got a new temperature. We've got a new charge gauge. We got a new fuel sending unit and fuel gauge. And we got our radiator hoses. And hopefully this is the last parts order for a while, because I'm not the only one that is spending a little too much money here on these old tractors. But like I say, we're not buying new ones. We don't own new ones. We can afford to make the old ones nice. So yeah, if you guys have a 766, I think it did 9 and 1066 also. The thing I like about Allstates is I like their app. I'm not saying that they're the greatest company out there to get parts for or parts from. I'm not saying that they're I'm not sponsored by anybody, and I'm not endorsed by anybody, and I don't speak for anybody. You guys know that I spread my business around to different companies, and it's good. It's good to have it that way, because you can give an honest review, an honest opinion. It's hard to get an honest assessment of a company from somebody who's being paid by that company to sponsor a sponsorship, basically. So yeah, they're gonna say that they're the greatest company in the world. I haven't had the best of luck with Allstates all the time on every single order. I've had things that were wrong, things that were bad quality I've had to send back. But for the majority of the stuff that I ordered, I've been happy with. The thing that's so nice is the app. The app is so easy to look up parts for your tractor. There's a lot of parts companies out there that don't have an app or don't have a good website, and their websites are so clunky and they're so hard to navigate through. And you shop by brand, you click on IH, and then they give you parts from every single model. Some websites won't even let you do a model search to get the parts for your model. Not the case with Allstates. They have good descriptions of the parts, and the shipping, it is $12.95 no matter what you order. So that's why it's better to do quantity when you buy something, because to get this from Iowa or Illinois, wherever they're from, I've ordered quite a few things that were pretty heavy, and I know they lost money on the shipping. So I think the end game with them is to just charge one flat rate shipping fee, and sometimes it works in their favor, sometimes it doesn't. It just seems like it's that way. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on. And if somebody's sponsored by somebody, that's fine. It's good. It helps your business. It gives you a little bit of extra income. I have no complaints about somebody being that way or doing that. But for the viewer, you just have to take things with a grain of salt and realize that they're being paid to say what they're promoting. It's just how it is. So I don't have that case. Nobody, I'm not sponsored, or nobody has offered any type of sponsorships, and I would really have to like the company and the customer service and not have any problems and the whole 9 yards before I would ever agree to do something like that. And at this point, it's better to give an honest assessment. I'm just a farmer who was a mechanic who has dealt with hundreds of parts and hundreds of different variations of parts, and has dealt with dozens of different companies, and I'm trying to be honest as I can and say, hey, this company, this is the issue. This company's not bad. So you get where I'm coming from here. And I don't mean to get sidetracked in the video, but that's, like I say, we got stuff to service the 685, got the muffler on, and basically this should be it for the 560. This should complete it. Once we get all these gauges installed and get everything put in, we should be done. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And stay tuned for more. As I put these on, I will try to do some how-to videos if anybody's interested. So, thanks for watching.